Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to the 2026 Top 10 Small Business CEO panel. If I could please have everyone's attention directed to the stage and welcome Joe Reardon, President and CEO of the Greater Kansas City Chamber of Commerce.
Good morning, everyone. It's a little rainy out, but it feels like spring, and it's an exciting morning. I'm so glad to see you all here in the Chamber boardroom. I was just thinking this morning as I was walking down here from our offices there on the other side that it seems a little empty inside the Grand Hall, and I suspect in 30 days it won't be empty like that. We'll all be in the midst of World Cup, and I do want to mention there'll be a lot of people in Kansas City, but with the number of viewers that watch World Cup, I think it's safe to say, this is sort of a bold statement, but I think it's sort of true. More people will come to know Kansas City next month than ever in the history of our city, which is pretty remarkable if you think about it a little bit. It's really an incredible moment. And it's an incredible moment this morning as well, because we get to celebrate the top 10 small businesses and hear from them. Let's give a round of applause to all the top 10 businesses. They're here. I want to recognize Vicki, who heads up all of our small business celebration work, and she does such a great job. Maybe give her a round of applause. We're so appreciative of the top 10 small businesses that we get to celebrate a little bit here today. And this recognition really represents more than just business success. Whether it's your first time being honored as a top 10 or you've been recognized as a top 10 before, your achievement reflects something much deeper. Leadership that uplifts others, values that shape your company culture, and a commitment to building a stronger, more dynamic Kansas City as you build your business. Being named a top 10 small business means you're not just growing your bottom line, although you're doing that, you're growing your people, your purpose, and your place in our community. You're creating jobs, building relationships, and contributing to the kind of region that we all want to live and work in. This morning, what's really exciting about today in this event is we'll get to hear directly from the visionary leaders behind these businesses, their journeys, their lessons learned, pivots that you've had to make, and the purpose that keeps all of them moving forward. These candid conversations remind us that great leadership comes in many forms and that success often starts with a strong sense of mission. So before we dive in, I want to extend a special thank you to all of our small business celebration sponsors, including Small Business Celebration presenting sponsor, Evergy. Let's give them a round of applause for the great work that they do. And the continued partnership of Evergy and all of our small business celebration sponsors really help us elevate the stories of these incredible businesses, and we're deeply appreciative of your support. And now, in a special way, I'm proud to introduce today's Top 10 CEO Breakfast presenting sponsor, our partners at Landmark National Bank. Let's give them a round of applause. And we're going to kick off today's event by hearing from Landmark National Bank CEO and President, Abby Wendell. Join me in welcoming her to the stage, please.
Thanks so much, Joe. I'm going to get this out here so you can hear me. Thank you, Joe. And thank you to the Chamber for putting on such a great event to recognize the small businesses in our community. So as Joe mentioned, I'm Abby Wendell, and on behalf of our team at Landmark National Bank, it is my pleasure to be with all of you today as we recognize the top small businesses in Kansas City. Congratulations in advance to all of our honorees. As you'll hear in just a moment, their stories reflect determination, creativity, and a real commitment to the work they do. As leaders, it's important that we pause for moments like this to recognize the effort behind the success and to learn from those who continue to raise the bar. Each of you has demonstrated resilience, thoughtful leadership, and a genuine drive to do work well. And we're truly glad that you're here today. It is our pleasure to recognize what they have built and why your small business matters so much to our communities. And before we introduce you to the top 10, I would also like to introduce and welcome Jeff Phillips, Chief Lending Officer and Kansas City Market President at Landmark. Jeff had the pleasure of meeting with and interviewing this year's nominees and will be moderating our conversation this morning. Please join me in welcoming this year's outstanding class of nominees for the Small Business of the Year Award.
Good morning. So excited to be with you all today, and I'm so excited for this group to be able to brag on themselves a little bit today and give us some insight so we can get to know you and your businesses better. Why don't we go ahead and just start with introductions, and we can start here, Sherry, if you want to introduce yourself and your business.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jeff. Good morning, everyone. I'm so thrilled to be here. My name is Sherry Lumpkins. I am principal and founder of Blue Symphony LLC. We are an IT and marketing firm. So software, database design, put down that pen and paper and grab yourself an iPad, and then everything you think about marketing.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Dulcinea Herrera. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Café Corazón, Kansas City's first Latin and Indigenous coffee shop, family-owned. We're also a wholesale roastery business as well.
I am Michelle Markham with EAG Advertising and Marketing. EAG stands for Entrepreneur Advertising Group, and so we, since 2003, have served Kansas City's small business community. We're very entrepreneur-driven, and that's the company we've served. And we've served, as of last week, 651 businesses since our founding in 2003, and I'm proud to say 20% of those are nonprofits.
Good morning. I'm Melissa Morley, president and co-owner of Encompas. We are a commercial furniture and architectural solutions provider. And side note, we are celebrating 20 years in business, so we are thrilled to be alongside such wonderful business owners and celebrating along with you.
Good morning. I'm Emily Freeman, co-owner of Kansas City Catering. We are a third generation, 43-year-old off-premise catering company that's been serving the entire metropolitan area for 4 decades.
Mic check. Hello. This is Vu. I'm Vu Nguyen with MOBB. Honored to be here with you all today. Happy to be a top 10. I'm representing MOBB, which is a local streetwear company. We started in 2013, so 13 years strong, providing apparel, creativity, community, and collaboration through KC.
Good morning. I'm Andrew Bristow with Pantheon Moving. We are a moving and logistics company based out of North Kansas City. I'm the CEO and founder. I started this in 2022 out of my mom's garage, with my Honda Civic, and now we have 15 full-time employees, 3 trucks, and a 5,000 square foot warehouse.
Sabah khair, buenos dias. Good morning. Habari za subuhi. My name is Zaid Ibrahim, founder of RK Contractors. We hire refugees, minority, and second chances. We build houses, we fix houses, and we do commercial and residential job here in Kansas City.
Good morning. I'm Jenny Munsell, owner of She Hauled It. Shocking. It's a WBE firm. We're a waste management brokerage and advisory firm. We do all things local Kansas City trash and recycling.
Hey, Amy Slattery, founder and partner at Slattery Design and Architecture. We are celebrating 10 years, and most of our work is based in the city and is focused on vision-driven projects, whether that's with nonprofits, with our city of Kansas City, Missouri, or with affordable housing developers and universities. So we kind of do a broad spectrum, really serving owners and clients who better our community.
Fantastic. You all look ready. I have my pinstripes on, so let's get down to business. Business is a complex business is complex, and the Mr. K Award recognizes that there are multiple aspects of running a business in making it successful. But I think we can all agree that one of the foundational pieces to building a sustainable business is the business strategy itself. The myriad of decisions you must make about target markets, how you grow, and where you focus your resources. So, Michelle, would you start us off? You've been very clear about who you serve, and that's built some long-term client relationships. How's that clarity shaped your disciplined way of growth?
Well, I think staying true to that. So, working with small businesses, business owners, entrepreneurs, it's a different breed. We are a different breed, and understanding those and staying true to that has been really important to us. But you can't grow without having a good strategy and a good discipline. And so, one of the things that has always been really important to me as a leader is really the value profit chain, where you keep employees happy, you keep them engaged, you keep them challenged, you keep them curious. And by doing that, you have happy employees who equal happy clients, who equal happy growth. And keeping those clients is happy, it is also happy, but is important to us. And I'm proud to say we have really great client retention. We have more than double industry average of client retention. And when you've been in business since 2003, I think that says something, and that's because of the great work that we do. But then we stay curious, we get referrals, and we keep staying true to ourselves.
Fantastic. Thank you. Emily, you've talked about being intentional about the types of events you take on, and it seems like you make a decision as to what you're going to pursue, and maybe even more importantly, what you're not going to pursue. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. There are seasons of every year, and there's been many seasons of our company's existence where we have had to take on every single piece of business that comes our way. Nights, holidays, and weekends. That's part of being in the hospitality business. But as we've grown, and specifically as we recovered from COVID itself in the hospitality industry, we have to be willing to say no to events that are not profitable or possibly not worth it. And what that means is maybe not taking a job on a Sunday after a really busy weekend, not taking a job on a holiday after a crazy summer. And most of that's to preserve the sanity of our employees, to preserve the culture, and to help eliminate burnout. So when we, as owners and managing partners, decide to take a piece of business on a sketchy day, a Sunday, a holiday, we have to be willing to work that job ourselves and take that off the plate of our employees that may just need a hot minute to rest.
Thank you. You all are operating across multiple channels. You have retail, wholesale, online. How are you making choices as to where you're going to dedicate your resources and maybe more importantly, your attention?
Thank you. We fire at all cylinders. With the business we're in, it's inventory heavy. And so we have to find ways to get more units out. Shout out to Shields. We just got into 24 Shields across Midwest and out West. Thank y'all. That was a big move for us. We've always pioneered Kansas City wear. So dealing with businesses locally, wholesaling to them. For us to really push the Midwest side of things and really getting out to Shields in different cities is a great move for us and a great lane for us to build. That's what we always wanted to do. Was we still have a lot to do to grow in Kansas City, a lot more audience to reach. As far as Midwest, it's even bigger space. So we're excited to be there on that level. Myself, I do creative. My business partner, Jesse, handles marketing and content. And then Mark handles wholesale and the events. And so all three of us have to trust each other to fire at each department that we're in. So we work hand in hand and we trust each other to push all sides of the space. Jesse handling mostly the online portal, Mark handling wholesale, and myself handling the creative side about things that start with. So, yeah.
Great. Thank you. Let's transition to the topic of culture. Culture is really birthed out of a vision for how our teams will treat each other, prioritize demands, and deliver for our customers. But culture really shows up in how people actually work every day. So, Jenny, I'd like to start with you if I could. What have you learned about what your team really needs from you as a leader, which may have changed from what you thought earlier on to what you've learned over time?
Yeah, absolutely. It changed a lot. At the beginning of my company, it was me and some people in the office side of things. So I was doing everything. And my background is heavily in the Kansas City market waste and waste and recycling industry for the last 20 years. So as I grew, it was hard to let go of things. But I had my third baby last year, and it was a really pivotal moment in the company, and it turned out to be the best thing ever, because what happened was it made me rely on my employees. So I really think that providing clarity, as long as my team knows what we are doing and why we are in business. I set out to create this because it is an industry that has never historically changed, and there's a better way of doing business. And so as long as we're all on the same page, and the message is you don't have to know everything. If I know more about something than you, that's okay, as long as you're taking care of the customer. When the customer's needs are met, and when you're just being responsive to the customer and your vendors, then everything else will fall into place. Being in this industry for so long, that's just really the key. And so as long as they know that, and we're all on the same page there, and our vision is the same, then I'm able to give them my trust, and I have their back, they have mine. And as long as we're taking care of the customer, then everything's going to be okay. And really what that's done is that my company has thrived in that environment, because everybody gets to own their role. And as they own their roles, we just grow stronger, because really the company won't make it if it's all about me. The company needs my support, but when I really succeed is when everybody who works for me feels ownership and feels the same passion and fire that I do for our customers in the industry that we're doing. And that's really where we're going to succeed as a company. And that's been really fun to watch.
Thank you. Dulcinea, you've built a workplace culture that's based in large part on the personal cultural experiences of the folks on your team and what they're living out in their everyday lives. How have you maintained a culture, a corporate culture, when you're adding locations and adding different product lines?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So part of our business is that we are the culture, and everyone in our business is also a big part of that. So we grow together. It's not just individualistic. For example, we have a manager named Mirka. She always did graphic design. So we said, okay, why don't you design our whole wholesale product line for us? We gave her that opportunity, right? We grow together. I think what's also really important is our team empowers us a lot. Our team is quadrilingual. So if you go into any Café Corazón location, someone will be able to speak to you in English, Spanish, Portuguese, or sign language. With the World Cup coming up, we're adding Arabic, French, and other languages too. We are also a community-based company. So when you walk in, we want you to feel like you're at your grandma's house and that you're safe and you're sound. But we also want to share that culture with you, right? We want you to be a part of it, because when you feel that deep connection to your roots, that means something. That's why our employees also stay with us for a very long time. In our industry, on average, people leave within 6 months. Our employees, on average, stay with us 2.5 years. So they go through high school, college, and sometimes their next job with us. We've also been blessed that our management team has stayed with us since the beginning, since when we were grinding, having to get everything together. So I think it's really important that as a boss, you have to treat yourself like an employee, and then your employees need to see themselves also as a boss, so that we are a team together in this.
Great, thank you. Melissa, you've created an environment where your team can bring forward new ideas and new opportunities, which has actually led to even new business lines for you all. How do you build that kind of ownership within a team?
For me personally, it's being willing to be the person in the room with the most to learn. It can be a very humbling and empowering experience all at the same time. So it's this juxtaposition of saying out loud, I don't know. That's a really good question. Help me figure it out. And then being confident enough to know that that's not a weakness and that in fact it's a strength. And as owners and leaders, all of us are putting so much time and effort and energy into recruiting and retaining top tier talent. We would be knuckleheads of the highest order to not tap into that and to celebrate what they know that we may not. And so at Encompass, we just recently elevated several people to the role of director. We had not yet had that role in our organization, and they've been in that role for just a handful of months. We're barely in the quarter two. And I will say that I have already been not impressed. I've been impressed, but not surprised that they have such great questions, thoughtful questions, acute observations, and they really want to leave the organization better than they found it. They want to leave that meeting better than they found it. And every interaction is rooted with the intention of helping their teammates just do their best work. And it's been just fantastic to sit at the table with them and talk through different scenarios. And I've already learned so much, and we're not even halfway through the year.
That's exciting. Andrew, as you've grown, what have you learned about the kind of people you need on your team to meet your, what I have come to learn, very high standards?
Yeah. Thank you for the question. It's been a learning process throughout the entire journey. The first thing that we look for is good communication and punctuality, because if they're not able to arrive and start the job on time, then it messes up the entire schedule for the day. And communication is important because we understand that accidents happen, delays happen, life happens, emergency happens. But if they communicate that with us, we're able to plan around it and update the customer, update our schedule, and update our other guys so they know to plan accordingly to prepare for the day. And that goes into the trustworthiness that we look for in all our guys, because it is a very intimate process. Moving people, we also do packing, we move coast to coast. So we're there for the entire process for people. So we're looking for people that we would trust to move our items and our families, because that's what we envision all our customers are, because they're not just providing for our workers, they're providing an opportunity and a career for me and all our employees and their families.
Thank you. You know, growth is a multi-dimensional word, and it seems like we're all pursuing it, but it can mean different things to us. It could be growing our team to experience a purposeful existence, growing our customers to reach our customer reach so that we can more positively impact more people, or growing our margins to provide the fuel for added capabilities. So, Retta, I'd like to start with you on this one, if we could. What's been the most challenging about building a business that balances your mission for creating a sense of belonging with your employees amongst our community and running a financially strong company?
Oh, wow. It's a very hard question. I feel like this is philosophical more than actually a financial question. I feel like that the challenge we face is how we connect the brain and the heart in the same time. So the brain will be strategic, financially, your administrative part, you're going actually bidding bigger jobs, you just keep grinding and keep growing. But the other side of it is the heart, how we connect that heart with the people. I'm an immigrant for 11 years in Kansas City. The city now is my home. And this is what gives me the leverage and very powerful thing for the other people to feel magnet toward me. Like they feel belonging when they come. And this is what we're building in that culture, is that heart, that compassion, that person coming to work with us, not for us. And we change that language from a boss to a leader, and from working for me is working with me. And we are all in one boat. And if one success, the entire society will success. And we look to the people and say, what actually challenges you're facing? And we can fix this challenge. Like sometimes we provide, when they come new to the country, they don't have a credit to buy a car. We provide them with a loan to buy the first car, help them with the paperwork, teach them language. We have 4 languages in our business. And I'm very proud of that. But it comes with pain, like I was sharing earlier with my table. It's very hard to to know what the solution is, and you feel like you're grinding and doing it by yourself. And I feel like you will fail if you're alone, if you're not surrounded with a group of family believe in the same heart you believe. So that challenge of how I connect the brain with the heart, how I can build investment, how I bring business, and how I build the team. And this team is a part of a bigger um, organization, healthy. Everyone feel like is good for them to belong to.
Thank you. That's powerful. Sherry, how have you, as your business has grown, been involved in the day-to-day, but then also been able to pull out and think strategically about where the business is headed?
That's the fun part, is figuring out kind of when to peek your head up. Blue Symphony's growth journey has been a wild ride for me. I started the company in 2002 as an independent consultancy, meaning I was an independent consultant. It was just me. So, and I tried to do all the right things. I created the business plan, all the things you're supposed to do. Check that off the list. And so that was the original goal, was to be an independent consultant. As years, go by, I need a little bit more help. Let me try. Let's do a win-win and bring in an intern. And the business continues to grow, partly because we do have around our office, we say Blue Symphony is extra, meaning our focus is not necessarily being the least expensive or things like that. It is, how can we go a little bit above and beyond? And so it would just be me, and someone would say, my background is technology. Someone would say, I need this amazing new piece of software, but it's public facing. So I'd start by going, okay, well, let's talk about what the brand of that. You'd be surprised, or maybe not, at how many companies, large and small, don't really understand their brand. And so it grew very organically to, well, we probably need to help with that. We try to understand how to help the client beyond what kind of a tactical approach that they need. So ultimately, it evolves into an agency, and that business plan from 2002 doesn't make sense, right? Just to kind of bring us to the present, because I've had to adapt. I've had to go from the client who comes to me and says, I need this one thing. Well, we provide enough quality that 10 years later, when the landscape looks different, we still have that client, because we're pulling back and saying, okay, I understand the direction we're trying to go, but how has the environment changed around me? What's different, and what adjustments do I need to make to keep both my company moored and moving forward, but also the client that I'm supporting? So they stay, because we are helping them to understand where they are in this new surrounding that wasn't in their business plan 3 years ago. So that's kind of how we do it. And then really quickly, to kind of, I do still keep my feet on both sides. We have weekly team meetings. I sit in those, understand what's happening today and right now. I actually block my Wednesdays to kind of have that CEO time, where I say, okay, let me understand again what's going on, what's happening today with my clients, what's happening today in the industry, what's happening with society, and how do we bring that together into not only a strategy, but down to that very top down to that tactical, what do we do now, what should we do in a month from now, and that type of thing. So the growth is really trying to maintain and deliberately step into the day-to-day, and then deliberately step outside of the day-to-day.
Yeah, that's good. Making your calendar work for you instead of the other way around. That's hard. Amy, I see you down there. You are in an industry that is oftentimes growth is limited by the principal designer's capacity. So how have you thought about the impact that might have on your business and how you're planning for that?
Yeah, thank you for this. And I just love being on a stage with these amazing leaders. And there are so many people in this room that have really supported the start of what we are doing and where we've continued to grow. Architecture is emotional. it can be the most important or the most money you ever spend on anything, right? And the people that we work with are deans, developers, and CEOs, right? So we're working with people at the top of their game in what they do. They want to work with people who are at the top of the game in what they are paying for. So with that, we are committed to having leadership and principal involvement in all of our work. And we balance that with developing the team to empower the team and then be there when we need to make very important or tough decisions. From a growth strategy, this means that we will be selective, and we are continuing to be selective in our work, who we choose to work with, and who we hire, because we look for quality leaders and we're growing those leaders. We see really no limit to what we could do with that. And the goal is that we would grow with incremental principal development and growth. So I think we're not really limited by it, but we're committed to that person to person human intelligence that is so important in design and what we do. And we're excited about our team growth. We have a strategy for that, and we'll stay connected to our work.
Thank you. So Jerry Maguire taught us that we all operate in very competitive industries, but you've all chosen different ways to stand out. So Jenny, you've taken a very different approach in an industry focused almost exclusively on volumes and prices. So how did you decide to build your business differently?
I love this question. I could talk about this for a very long time, but I won't. That to me is the easiest part of my business. When I started the business 5 years ago, it was at a point in my life where I was really ready to figure out exactly. I didn't feel settled in my career, and I have this background in waste management. I would leave companies because I disagreed with the way they were doing business, and I would get brought back into another waste company by a former leader. And I started the company because I'm a mom who knew that my time was really valuable, and I was really sick of being in an industry that felt broken. There's a better way of doing this work. And so for me and my team, when we make it all about the customer, then everything just aligns. And that's why we've had such positive growth in just 5 years, because we really, truly, the heart and soul of it is about taking care of our customer, whether that means answering the phone and just saying, I'll figure it out. Just being responsive and available and knowing that we're taking care of them. It's just, we're in a market that everything's about price. Obviously, you want to be competitive, but there's a way to do good work and be competitive. And I'll always stand by that. It should be about so much more. But what I will say is, and what I've told people coming up, younger people especially, or friends and family, I've always wanted to be in business for myself. My best advice, and where it all fell into place and where I think we've found success as a team and a group, is find something you're really good at, really knowledgeable about, really passionate, and just do it better. Do it better. Serve who you are serving, and things will always fall into alignment. And so I think as we continue to stand by that, that takes all that volume and price point out of it. And we're able to really serve our customers really well at a competitive price. And I'm really proud of that.
Thank you. Melissa, you all have focused on understanding your client's purpose early on in the due diligence process. So how has that changed the way that you win business?
It's been a culmination of a lot of micro moments. So in terms of transformation, I think it's always been at the core of Encompass to understand the why of what we are doing and what our teammates and clients and industry partners are doing, but at different scales. So the macro why of, okay, we need to reinvest in the space because we've outgrown it, or we haven't touched it in 20 years, or we're trying to recruit, what have you. And then the micro whys of, what is that emotion that Amy's team is so passionate about? Help us understand where that design came from. What is that question that the HR leader is asking? Who are they sponsoring? Who are they championing, supporting, cheerleading in that moment, so that we have a true anchor point, not only in the project, but the conversation and the next task at hand. And it's so much easier when you have that anchor to always go back to, especially in those moments of chaos or lack of clarity. And that provides our team a lot of stability. And I'll compliment a teammate of mine, Julie. She has a wonderful phrase that she reminds our team a lot. And it's not about building projects, it's about building communities. And we are a small portion of that in the built environment, all of the wonderful things that go into that. But it's a lovely way to have those transformative micro moments that ultimately result in this wonderful outcome that we get to celebrate alongside everybody else.
Thank you. Amy, you have rejected the idea that in your industry you have to choose between service and design. So how has that shaped how you've formed your firm?
So I had the opportunity of working at incredible corporate firms in this city who are doing work all over the globe before I started my own. And I think I saw this balance of innovation and design excellence with client service and repeat client and a business-minded strategy. And what we're working toward in kind of what I would call a small practice that is kind of a test bed of practice ideas is we are working to provide both design and service in everything that we do. And that means project management excellence, business-minded excellence, talking about cost, being honest, and telling people, sorry, right up front, you may not need a building, you may not have enough money for me yet, but here's a connector that can get you to that next step. And then also when we have the opportunity to invest with our clients and our communities, that we are elevating design at every step. That doesn't mean that we have to have a lot of money. It means that we have to have great ideas, look for creativity with our community, design with our community, not for, and try to achieve excellence with more than one move. And we truly believe that's possible. We are finding ways to provide a great practice environment for our staff and to serve underserved communities who may not always get to work with an architect. We shouldn't be a luxury. We are a necessity. And we think that if everybody thought this way about architecture and design, we could have so much more beautiful and sustainable work in our region and in our world.
Thank you. Michelle, you all have pursued R&D in a unique way for your industry. So how has that impacted how EAG does business, but then also how you recommend for your clients to do business?
Yes, people don't usually think of R&D as much in a service business and in marketing and advertising. You know, they think of it for technology, they think about it for products. But what we do is we really get into our client's business. So we're outsourced, we're a marketing agency, but we operate as though we work in. So we're always asking questions. We're understanding how the business works. We're understanding sometimes when people come to us for marketing that there are some things that they need to get right before we go out and market, because we want the marketing to be successful. And all of that led to this understanding of, well, why can't we do R&D in a service area? Why can't we understand the problems that our entrepreneurs face? Why can't we understand the changing landscape of marketing? If we just keep doing the same thing over and over and expect it to still work, it won't. So having a dedicated budget, resources toward R&D, I think has allowed us to bring difference and challenge to our employees and difference and challenge to our clients.
I love how a lot of those times you test it out on yourself before you recommend it onto your clients. That's a wonderful way to approach that. Andrew, what's one thing that you've done operationally that customers seem to notice immediately?
I'd say the thing that almost all customers notice and really appreciate from us is the care and the time that we take with all their items. We make sure to pad and wrap every item individually, whether it's chairs, dressers, mirrors, or just everything in the house. We take our time to pad it and protect it to make sure that it's safe, whether they're going across the town or going to the East Coast or West Coast. And then we also are very intimate with the packing process. We pack up kitchens, living rooms, bedroom furniture. We do fragile artwork and medical equipment as well. And so we take our time to make sure it's done properly. And that's what we get a lot of feedback from our past customers. They always appreciate that the crew was very thoughtful. They were very detail oriented, and they make sure not to leave before everything is done. We tell all our crews, before you leave, ask the customer if there's anything else that they can do while they're here. So that's something that almost all of our customers really appreciate from us, because almost no other moving companies take the time to really care about the client like that. They just want to move the stuff, get the money, and get out.
Thank you. A defining legacy of Mr. K is the impact that a business can have on our community. So, Emily, I'd like to start with you on this topic. You have a unique approach to encouraging employees to give financially to causes they find meaningful. Could you tell us more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. As a catering company, the greatest asset that we can offer our community is our food and our catering services. We've been donating our leftover and excess food to City Union Mission for over 40 years now. But we're not a restaurant and we're not a grocery store. So that extra food is limited to the jobs that we book, and we wanted to do more. So we started to empower our employees 2 years ago with an employee outreach program. We had so many nonprofit organizations reaching out to us. They're doing a gala. They want help. They need resources. They need extra dollars and ways to stretch their budget. And we tried creatively to do this in many ways. But when we decided to empower our employees, everything changed. So every full-time and permanent part-time employee of ours gets $1,500 a year to spend on in-kind food and labor services that they can donate to a nonprofit organization around the city. So not only do we get to celebrate with all kinds of fabulous organizations around our community, but we get to encourage our employees to support an organization that they care something about, or learn about an organization that's impacted our community. We have gotten to partner with some of the most amazing organizations around our city, and it's just an incredible joy. Restore, Freedom Hoops, Sheffield Place, Camp Kesem, Special Olympics, Joy Meadows, tons of elementary schools around the city. Anything that our employees care about, we want to celebrate and elevate. And so it encourages our employees. It encourages our community outreach.
How great is that? Thank you. Retta, how do you think about investing in your people, in your community, while still maintaining a strong business?
You have all of the hard questions for me. So I feel like the three components here is the power of diversity. Even if we look at our own bodies, like we're different parts, and every part have a unique, wonderful thing. But that's discovering what's the PowerPoint of each part. 3 words actually helped me, and I were here 2022 was the top 10 too, and to see that we're in the same seat and the city recognizing us, it just we're very happy about it. This is our city, see what we're doing and the change we're doing. But 3 very important words is vision and mission and delegation. So vision, like no 2 human beings have the same vision. Everyone have his own vision, his own perspective. But when this vision come out of me, I started the company, and it became a mission. And that mission, anyone can come tackling that mission with his own vision of what you need to be. And this will lead for the people to invest so much in the mission. They will adapt the mission as their own. Then I delegate it to them. And this has helped us to grow in that element. We work with everyone. We partner with everyone. We're about to merge with a wonderful architect firm too. So we're going to be a design build company. It just showing this, when we are together, we are more powerful. When we're together, we can build our society and our community. And instead of that one man savior or one woman savior will come save the day, it's actually us as a community. We see that systemic problem, and we creating a systemic solution for it. We are the solution. And when we discover this and let go of our ego and let go for just lead other people to success, This is the only reason we success in all of our relationship with investors, with banks, with business, with offices, with whatever people we treat in that mindset. I'm here as a partner to you. I'm here to help you. Then you will feel back this, oh, I belong here. So you do actually your 100%. So if I come and strategic like, hey, I need you to reach that sales. I need you to hit this. You will never reach it. But when I come and see what the challenges are on you, and you feel belonging, and you feel supported, empowered in what you are good at, and placing you and help you, not placing you, help you to find your niche, your area. This is what the component help us to grow, and we're happy to be here in Kansas City.
That's a good word. Thank you. You and your partners have paved a way that other aspiring entrepreneurs can follow. So how does that fact resonate with you, and how does it impact your business today?
That's a good one. We're just happy to be here. I think that's what we started this company as. It was very much so a passion project. We wanted to create something that lasted longer than us. I personally wanted to just be creative and build and design and create art. And it turned into something that we had to look at ourselves and be like, I think this could be a real business. And then so we had to chase that side of it, you know. We had to learn the business side of things. None of us are business guys, you know. So we had to learn all those things, but that's gotten so big through the help of the community. Like the only reason MOBB exists is because of Kansas City, because of you guys. And so we see MOBB as much more now. I think with businesses, you have to have a why, right? We developed our why while we were doing this. In the beginning, we just want to be a streetwear brand. We wanted to create dope stuff and drop cool pieces. But now it's become so much more. It's become community. It's become collaboration. It's become showcasing how different businesses can work together in Kansas City to build the city up. And being born and raised here and watching the city grow every year is just crazy. So we're just honored to be in this stage, being able to talk about these things. Mark, my business partner, is from American Samoa. Jesse over here, what's up, Jesse? Jesse is a first generation American with Laos parents. I am a first generation American as well, with Vietnamese parents that came over after the war. So having MOBB is our American dream, you know, our version of it. And my parents didn't get it at first. You know, they're like, what is this guy doing in art? Be a doctor, lawyer, architect, you know. But yeah, that once we had the shop, the business, they slowly figured out, oh, okay, he's a business guy. And so we had to live up to that side of things. So we're steadily learning every day. We don't know it all. We're not doing everything correctly. We fail a lot. Our whole business has been failing and learning from the failures. And I'm hard-headed, so that's how I learn. But problem solving is one of our biggest things. And as we grow, it's 13 years in. The city has gave us so much. So we have to give back to the city. It's not we want to, we have to. And so I was honored as a laureate in 2024 for Junior Achievement Greater Kansas City. And that was a awesome space. And they just noticed our work with the community, especially the youth, working with the Raigoku Soccer Academy boys. And really what we tell nonprofits and youth is, we don't have enough money to sign you guys a check, but we have time. We'll give you guys time. And so we do that with a lot of the projects we do with the youth. So Show Me the World right now is from St. Louis. They came in, showed the kids how to make coffee and sell it. And so I helped them collaborate on a shirt, had them build it all. And then they sold it at our first Fridays. And they're swinging those shirts. Yeah, they're selling a lot of them. And so we've done that with the Raigoku boys, Operation Breakthrough, a bunch of high school kids, 3DE program through JAG KC. I just recently did something similar through Kansas City, Kansas Public Schools. And so those are the things that I think as we grow, it's like, this is the next generation that we want to give this knowledge that wasn't given to us too, right? There was no playbook. There wasn't anything to go off of. But if we can give you just a little something to skip that speed bump, then I think you're in better space than us. And if we could do it, y'all could do it.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, great. Thank you. Sherry, I mean, you've talked about your business serving a broader purpose. So how do you think about that alongside running the company day to day?
Yeah, one way that it's actually easy for us in a way is because it's not just alongside the company, it's actually inbred or there in our day to day. We have very deep and broad and extensive experience in the nonprofit space, and so nonprofit organizations know that we get it. We know that you're grant driven. We know that there are periods. We know that we understand these things, and so we take particular passion in helping those organizations, whether that be food and nutrition in deserts, food deserts, organizations that help that. And by the way, figuring out how to adjust when that organization received a grant, we had a plan, and that grant got pulled back. How do you adjust to that? We've got organizations that help students with different needs transition from adulthood, from youth services to adult services, and actually literally automating that process of developing a personalized checklist. We have organizations. I'm forgetting them, but one of the ones that we are particularly pleased about is the health department. The health department, we originally were engaged for a 90-day, getting there, figure something out to make a difference in 90 days, and thank you. That was 3 years ago, and we still have an active contract because of the impact that we are so passionate about making. But then even when we see gaps, and we haven't had the opportunity to fill them through the client work, we then do something else. Again, recently, 2025 was a busy year. We didn't toss our hat in the ring in 2025, had our heads down. Um, we saw the significant spike in the unemployment and businesses failing and things like that. Launched on not for a client, produced a summit called Power 100, focused on workforce development, entrepreneurship, prepping for things like next month. And we're doing it again this year because the need is still there. So it's even with for-profits, we find ways to support the employees. And we believe all of that as a community comes together to kind of improve the greater whole. So it's both within the business and then making time when we see a gap just to make it happen.
Great. Thank you. Dulcinea, we've heard directly from your team about the impact that the company has had on their lives. Have there been times where doing what's best for the community or the team have conflicted with what's best for the business?
So I'm going to start from the beginning. The only reason that Café Corazón exists today is because my family was walking down Westport Road, scouting locations after being rejected so many times, being told our idea was not going to work. And a car had driven through a location that we were scouting and it completely demolished it. But my dad, shout out Papa, he's over there, he's a fixer-upper. So he walked in the building and he said, no one's giving us an opportunity. If you allow us to fix this, we will build something beautiful. A year or two later, after we fixed up the building, about a week goes by, and I'll never forget, there was an older Latina woman who walked in the door and she read our story that's written on the wall, and she just started crying. And she came up to me and my mom and she said, thank you so much. I finally feel like I have a space where I'm felt and I'm heard and I'm seen. That moment was so significant to me because it made me realize that I'm a part of our community. We are the community, my employees, my family, my husband. And it is our duty, and it is also a privilege for us to be able to speak on behalf and for our community. So we have to stand on integrity always with that. That is why every single month we do a nonprofit highlight. That is why we do so many community events. At the end of the day, we are a coffee shop. So our community is us. And maybe sometimes standing up when our people are being oppressed, like right now, what is happening, that might be looked upon a certain way in corporations. But I don't care, because that's why we do what we do. That's why we've been able to scale to 3 locations in 7 years with hardly any capital. We did that as a family. That's why we have a roasting facility now that my dad also built out. So at the end of the day, if I could say anything, we just stood on integrity, and I will forever do that. I will never put that aside. That is the most important thing.
Thank you for that. All right, we have a few minutes left, so this is the lightning round. So this is a quick response. I've got one question for you, and we'll just go down the line. If you could go back and give yourself one piece of advice on day one of starting your business, what would it be? Do I start with Sherry or do I start with Amy? You want to start, Sherry? We got 30 seconds. Amy actually looks like she's ready to go, so we'll start down at that end.
Okay. I'd actually tell myself to slow down, and I would not have listened.
That's all.
I think I would just say go with my gut. Being in a male-driven industry, there was a little bit of timidness there. But the more I followed where the integrity of the company came from, the further we went. So I would just say, just keep going. Go with your gut.
I would say good job. You're in the right place, right time. Be that light you want it other people to be.
I would tell myself you can't do everything by yourself. You need to trust the people that you work with, the people that are around you to do the job that you need done. Because if you only believe in yourself, you're not going to be able to get where you want to go.
You'll figure it out.
I came into my family's catering business about 7 months before COVID decimated the hospitality industry. And so the advice I would give myself at that terrible season would be hang on, don't be afraid to pivot. You can do anything for 6 months. It's okay not to take a salary for a while, live off savings. That's what savings is for. And by the grace of God and family and friends that are like family, you can overcome anything.
I would say continue to surround yourself with people that lift you up. And when the thing that you're carrying is a little bit too heavy, it's okay to put it down for a second or ask someone to carry it with you.
I would say get out in your community. I'm an introvert by nature, and so getting out, meeting people, connecting with people, don't just join the chamber, go to their events, shout out chamber. But it is about going out and making those connections and doing those things. It's what's caused us to I'm on 5 nonprofit boards. In 2021 we made this conscious decision to, hey, let's start supporting a nonprofit, not just the 20% of our clients that are nonprofits, but additional local nonprofits. Let's have one for every year that we've been in business. And we've exceeded that now. And it's getting out and just making those connections and seeing how you can help. Like, I already want to talk to you. I've got French speakers for you. So yeah, I mean, it's like, it's listening and doing that, that I wish I would have started sooner.
I was 19 when I started Café Corazón with my family. So if I could say anything to 19-year-old Dulcinea, it would be, you are so expansive. Do not limit yourself or put yourself in a box.
I would tell myself, yes, the work is important and it needs to be excellent, but more important is the relationships that you need to build and maintain and strengthen.
Thank you. As I invite Abby back up for our closing comments, Abby, thanks for giving me a chance to visit with these folks. And how fortunate are we that this is a representative community of what Kansas City is doing in the business community. So let's thank them again.
Well, I know I'm inspired. Thank you all very much. And before we wrap up, I want to give a special thank you to Jeff Phillips for moderating the conversation. Yep. Jeff, you did a great job bringing out the perspectives and really lending itself to an engaging and inspiring conversation. So thank you again for doing that. Gosh, what stood out to me the most in this discussion was the consistent way in which all these entrepreneurs talked about leading intentionally, no matter what they're doing. Whether you were sharing about how you have built your strategy or managed growth or been in competitive markets or built workplaces where employees genuinely feel valued and engaged in the work they're doing, the message is clearly clear that you are building real success from the inside out. I also was struck by the honesty and the reflection that you brought to the conversation. I think we can all say that you reminded us that success isn't just about what shows up on paper. It's about how you lead, how you serve, your commitment to communities, and that came through in everything you shared. I know I feel like I'm truly better for having spent time with you this morning. Thank you for setting such a strong example. And before we wrap, also, I want to remind everyone the Small Business of the Year and the Chamber's Specialty Award winners will be announced on Wednesday, May 27th during the Small Business Celebration Awards luncheon at the Lowe's Hotel. Tickets are available at kcchamber.com, and I hope many of you will be able to attend. And I hope today's conversation inspires all of us to reflect on the vital role that small businesses play in driving growth, building strong workplaces, and strengthening our communities. I want to also thank the Kansas City Chamber for continuing to recognize and elevate these stories. You're not just celebrating business success, but you're championing businesses as leaders, innovators, and community builders. And I think as we wrap up here, I want to emphasize something Vu said that particularly struck with me is that none of us would be here if it weren't for Kansas City. So we're all grateful for our community, and it's all really inspiring to see everybody here building that community. So thank you all for joining us this morning, and I hope you have an amazing day.